Good evening, all. My name is Brian P. Easton, and I am the author of the Autobiography of a Werewolf Hunter book series. And this is what we call Whiskey with the Werewolf Hunter. Welcome back to the Werewolf Bar, folks, for our September edition of the show's 7th season here on YouTube. We're glad you could visit with us for a while tonight as spooky season begins to creep around the corner. Halloween is a lot of people's favorite holiday, and we always try to bring you something special in October. But first we have to get through these last days of summer, and around here it is certainly hanging on for dear life. No death throes of summer yet here. But September, if you don't know, is Sylvester's birth month. September 20th, Sylvester Logan James, if he were still alive somewhere, he would turn 75 this month. The 20th isn't the day I came up with the character or anything like that. It's the date I chose for him because I would always remember it because I said it the day after my own birthday. So in honor of SLJ, let's raise a toast to him with our creature of the night. And with apologies to Milton, Sylvester, long is the way and hard that out of hell leads up to light. Well, on last month's episode, Tex Grebner gave us a very cool edition of Tools of the Trade involving the use of catch traps. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go back and watch it now and then come back and we'll continue, because what I'm about to get into is a spin-off of that last segment of Tools, at the end of which Tex demonstrated the use of a steel trap. Now, trapping fur was a big part of Michael's livelihood in his later years. And of course, Sylvester and his father, Foster, were running one of Winter Fox's trap lines the night that Foster died. So as Tex mentioned, the long spring trap he used scales up in size until they're big enough to catch a bear. And since I happen to own a functional replica of such a trap, I figured I'd do my own demonstration tonight. All right, so this isn't even the biggest size that they make. This is a number 15 Duke trap, and it works the same way as the one that Tex showed us last month. But as you can probably tell, collapsing these springs is not going to be something we can just do by hand. I mean, the springs are strong enough to catch and hold a bear. So that's not something we're going to be able to just snap down and set like we would if we were setting a trap for a raccoon or a fox or something like that. So what I know about the old mountain men is that they would set these traps with a tool and then carry them to where they were going to make their set, because if they didn't, they risked leaving their scent all over the trap and the ground, and as much effort as it took to set the jaws, so they would leave a lot of scent on that. So they compress the springs with a tool, open the jaws, and then they would run this trigger piece right here, which is called the dog. And the dog would come over the top of this fixed jaw, which would be down here, and it would hook into this notch in the pan. And the tension there would hold this jaw, so you have to imagine this jaw is down here, and this is blocking, keeping it from coming up. Okay, so this would be the fixed jaw. Now, coming back here, this jaw would be movable, and it would be laying flat as well, but you could move it up and down if you needed to adjust it for something. Then they would make their set, and they would dig out the place that they were going to put it in the earth, sift dirt, and place floor litter to cover it all up. Now you see this big chain right here that's attached to the trap. This was to attach your ground anchor. Now, if you used a stake, if you're going to use a stake for a bear, you're going to have a stake that's like big enough to set a three-ring circus tent with, which is going to make a lot of noise in the woods, first of all, and once again is also going to leave a lot of your scent around on the set, which you're not going to want to do. And also because, as Tex pointed out, there's a very good chance that over the hours the bear is caught, it's going to manage to uproot that anchor, especially if it's not sunk into frozen ground. So what old bear trappers were more likely to do was to take another length of chain, attach it to this one to make it longer, and then at the end of that to attach a drag or a drag anchor to that chain. And the drag is a grapple of some kind, you know, with like hooks or welded assemblies meant to snag on trees and dead logs and things like that, that would eventually snag and keep the bear from getting away with the trap on its leg. And then the trapper could track the bear pretty easily through the drag marks and everything, and then to dispatch the bear when he got to it. But as you might imagine, and like I said, this is just a functional replica. The bigger ones to hold, you know, grizzly bears and stuff were just enormous. They would snap them, and it's big enough to chop a man in half. So imagine carrying something like that through the forest and thanking God for your mule. But when they make the set, then they'd use whatever bait they had or lure to try to coax the bear into position where it might step down on the pan, releasing the dog, jaws come forward, and it's caught. Now I know what you're probably thinking. How are you going to catch a werewolf in a steel trap? Well, like Tex pointed out, creating a silver spring steel trap is a pretty outlandish proposition, not to mention pricey. But remember, there is precedent in werewolf fiction for bear traps. So with that in mind, let's take it outside and see if we can set this bad boy. Okay, so here we have our Duke bear trap with the long leaf springs. We've clamped down one of the leaf springs with a C-clamp. And we're going to do the same to the other one. All right, so now on our number 15 bear trap, Duke 15 bear trap, we've got both leaf springs completely compressed with C-clamps. How the guys did this back in the day and then carried this thing out into the woods, I don't know. But anyway, the leaf springs are down. You see the jaws are open. And the next thing will be to set the trap. I've got the C-clamps off of the leaf springs, and I put a little can in there to help hold up the plate where it latches in to the little trigger piece there. So right now, the only thing holding the jaws open is the tension between the pan and this little trigger piece right here. All right, now we have a completely set bear trap. Both springs are completely compressed and the trap is live. So now we'll have my assistant come over and we'll see what happens when something hits that pan.
I'm scared.
And there you go. Whatever's in there is caught with a broken leg. And that's a bear trap. So that wasn't easy to do, even with the help of those C-clamps. And like I said, the Duke is a reproduction, functional reproduction. And I can only guess at how much more difficult the originals were to work with back in their day. But that's one of the things that we do here on Whiskey with the Werewolf Hunter. We explore the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts of monster hunting. And so when I come across something in the horror subgenre of monster hunting, I generally take a moment to check it out. Case in point, I came across a trailer to a Monster Hunter movie coming out soon called Dust Bunny, releasing into theaters December 5th. And it stars Mads Mikkelsen as the Monster Hunter. See what you think of this trailer for Dust Bunny.
What did you see?
A monster. Under my bed.
What do your parents think about monsters? Do they believe in them?
I do now. Is that enough to kill a monster?
What makes you think I kill monsters?
You seem like you killed all it thinks.
She believe in monsters.
You're a monster. She believe in you.
A monster didn't need your parents. Those were men. That came to kill me. Why would a monster eat your family? Have you seen something you shouldn't have seen?
I know it's real.
You think you know?
You think you know.
Her being here won't stop them. They will go right through her. You seem triggered.
You got the girl?
I got the gun.
It looked interesting enough to share with you, but now I'm not so sure what I think about it. Is it intriguing, or does it just strike me now as a little too whimsical? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So we're all very attuned to the hunt. But very often, we do neglect monster hunters of different stripes than what we're used to. I'm talking about, in this case, science fiction, but not in the vein of Isaac Asimov or Gene Roddenberry. No, I refer to films like Predator or The Terminator. Arnold's band of commandos become monster hunters the minute they start being hunted themselves. And what about Sarah Connor? Talk about a character arc from affable waitress, everyday gal type to hardcore warrior of the future. Gals and guys like her have their place right alongside the vampire slayers and the werewolf hunters, as far as I'm concerned. But one of the greatest monster hunters in the sci-fi realm, I think, comes in the form of Ripley, as played by Sigourney Weaver in the classic science fiction horror franchise Alien. Here to remind you that in space no one can hear you scream is Miles Booth and Son and X and Z Reviews.
Welcome to X and Z Horror Movie Reviews. I'm X with your Gen X perspective.
I'm Z with your Gen Z perspective.
And tonight we are reviewing the original 1979 Alien. Before we get started, I would like to say a few people have asked, what does X and Z mean? And it is a name that we came up with that refers to our generations. And you know, Gen X looks at movies differently than Gen Z, and something that came out in 1979, something that I've seen a lot of times is different in his eyes, and vice versa. Something that comes out, you know, this weekend is something that you know may mean more to him.
Right. You grew up with Alien. I grew up with, you know, FNAF. So
That's
FNAF
right.
movie matters a lot more to me than it would to someone from Gen X. You know,
Just more in touch with it, and
Exactly.
you'll hear us talk about, you know, what does this movie have for Gen X, or what does this movie have for Gen Z,
Right.
as opposed to what it just has for general audiences.
Right.
And that's the whole gist of our show here. Well, that and we have bloopers, so we're not too proud to show them either. Not every episode, but the ones
come
where
on,
they're
it's fun.
good. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, so we're going to get into it with Alien, a classic, and we're reviewing this one now, not because the world needed another random Alien review, but because Alien Earth comes out this next Tuesday. That's going to be the streaming series on FX, and the reviews are intriguing, to say the least. So we wanted to go back, start where it all began, and kind of get ready for Alien Earth. Now, we rewatched the 2003 director's cut of Alien, which is a little bit different than the original, and it was edited to run a little bit faster.
Right. Quicker.
And it kind of does make a difference. Now, it only cut the total runtime of the film down by a minute, so we're not talking about a huge difference. But for the most part, it really does run a little bit faster than I remembered it.
It's a bit smoother.
Right, exactly. So what I'm going to do is run down the cast, to honor the movie and the cast, and then I'll kick it over to Z to see what his thoughts are on a 1979 movie. All right, directed by Ridley Scott, everybody knows that one, and we've got Sigourney Weaver, everyone knows that one. But you had an amazing cast of people, everybody with very famous careers. So you had Veronica Cartwright, you had Yaphet Kotto, you had Tom Skerritt, Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt. I mean, what an amazing cast. And I will say, this movie begins, and right away the character portrayals just shine. Like you know these people before 10 minutes is up.
Exactly.
After meeting them, and that's so important. And it just got pushed by the wayside by modern set pieces.
Yeah, they try
and
now to
graphics
do character
and,
introductions, and it's like, this is what this character's about, but that's completely unnecessary. It's like, here are the characters and what they're about, instead of showcasing it, putting a spotlight on it. It's just like, here it is, and this is how they fit into the story. And it fits really well. It's a lot better storytelling because of it.
It really makes a huge difference, and it's a huge difference between a movie that focuses on characters versus just graphics and explosions and all that kind of stuff. So
cool,
very different.
One-liners.
Yeah, very different than the superhero formula. All right, Z, what else did you like about this movie?
So this movie, and I had forgotten this, but because I've not seen it in quite some time, and I'm glad we rewatched it. Now, this movie is much dirtier, a lot more grungy than I remember. Its set pieces are phenomenal. Every piece of the movie fits well with each other. The ship, the planet, every piece, the alien, of course, everything fits well together, and it's actually scary. It's actually scary. They went for a horror movie, and they did it well. So I love that they tried to do a horror movie and they succeeded.
Definitely. What else did you see in that? I love the aesthetic too.
Yeah, exactly.
Just grimy. It's awesome.
Another thing, tiny details. There are very subtle things, such as with synthetic, that they don't know it's on their ship, but it's a crew member. Very tiny details,
I didn't even say Ian Holm. He plays the synthetic Ash. Oh man, okay.
Yeah, come on, what are you doing, dude?
Ian Holm.
There are a lot of tiny details, and that's just one example with the synthetic. Leading little clues that lead to you believing, like, oh, maybe there's something up with this guy, and because it is. He's a synthetic. He's not an actual person. Just makes it good storytelling and just good filmmaking, and it's something that's missing in a lot of movies today. So even though it's old, it doesn't mean it's bad per se. It just was done differently.
You didn't look and just say, wow, I've seen all this before. It's just a director that knows how to pace the film, knows when to introduce each new aspect of the film, building not just the tension, but the mystery of it all. And, one of the things you had mentioned was this one was not an easy one to guess how it was going to end.
Right. No crazy cliches, and I do love the way it ends. I do love the way it ends.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not a lot of predictable
Not
endings or
completely
characters.
predictable,
You know,
exactly.
no cliches. And like you had mentioned with other movies, this movie is the inspiration for so many great movies.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're watching this, and man, I haven't watched it in a while, and boy, is there a lot of the Matrix in this one, and then every other Monster in a Box movie
Of
that came
course.
after it. Um, you know, it's something else.
Yeah, there's so many things, so many great things that stemmed from this movie.
Yep.
It's so great to see in action. It's just so original and it's so refreshing. And
Yeah.
it's something we lack today.
Yeah. Talk about
So-
that ending.
Oh, that ending. The whole ending is phenomenal. Ellen Ripley, of course, and I'm sure you've watched the movie. I mean,
Everybody
it's,
knows.
40 years
yeah.
old. Anyhow,
Spoiler
she
alert.
Yeah, exactly. Spoiler alert for the 1979 movie. In any case, she blows up the Nostromo, and she's like, "I got you, you son of a," and you know what I'm going to say, but I'm not going to say it. Trying to keep it PG.
YouTube.
Anyhow, YouTube, exactly. Anyhow, she's on her escape shuttle, and the alien is on it with her, but she doesn't know that until it crawls out of a crevice. Because, oh, you didn't know that it was like a spider in Australia. It just hides in tiny crevices and then pops out to get you when you least expect it. And it's a perfect little twist. It made me fall in love with the movie. That one scene. Not that the rest of the movie is, horrible or anything. It's fantastic. It's just that one in particular, which is the cherry on top of the delicious cherry vanilla ice cream cone. You get the point. It's amazing. That scene.
It's solid. Just when you thought it was safe, it's not. And then all the iconic stuff that happens afterwards, and blowing the alien out of the airlock, and the whole,
And burning it with a
thing.
jet engine.
Yep.
The engine, whatever. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So, what we have is a very, very solid movie. I have to say, it is aged well,
Oh, yeah.
all things considered. Now, the technology is very retro, and so it's very 70s. But
no flat screens.
it looks cool, and I will tell you that because the rest of the aesthetic is so grungy, it almost kind of works. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that would obviously be different now,
Sure.
but for the most part, it's not. It doesn't pull you out of the movie.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we're in space. It's the future, and
Right.
you're on an alien. I mean, we've already established aliens exist. Is technology really going to pull you out of it? No, not really.
Well, I just mean like the kind of analog tech.
I understand,
which
It's,
is you're almost like, well, they need something fail safe out there. It's not, you don't want your iPhone to like, oh, I didn't charge it, I guess we're stuck in space.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
so you can almost kind of
Exactly.
even like just get past it, and
Well, you don't even need to really start thinking about it. It's not really. It's like, okay, you know what? I just, who cares about the technology?
yeah.
It's just,
Well, it's just such an important part of the movie's look.
sure.
It's something that each of the films that has come after stuck with,
Right.
for the most part. There's some films we're not going to talk about here, and I'm
Not today.
talking about Romulus. We're not going to talk
You
about it,
said
but
it.
I'm just going
You
to
had
tell
to
you
say
right
it.
now, I just can't deal with
If
that
I could,
movie.
I'd get a flamethrower like Ellen Ripley had,
And
and
blow it out of the airlock. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
They
Dude,
just,
it is
it's
a
a
burning
tragedy.
fire in a
Just
dumpster.
Terrible.
So
Terrible. Moving on.
we're not going to go down that road.
We're not going to go down
Now,
that road.
I think that we should focus on the alien a little bit.
Okay.
Because, wow, what a fantastic creature.
Well,
the xenomorph.
no one had ever
Wow.
seen anything like it. Brand new, and introducing a new monster that becomes iconic and a staple in movies that everyone knows what a xenomorph is.
Yes.
And it wasn't the xenomorph back then; it was
Right,
the
it was
alien.
just an alien.
Um,
But as
right.
time has progressed, the xenomorph. I mean, you
Yeah.
see it in games
Or Big
like Dead
Chap,
by Daylight,
whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's everywhere.
It is
It's
everywhere.
iconic, and what a cool design! I mean, out of nowhere, this like insectoid, predatorial, like just It looks
Yeah.
deadly. Like you look at that, you're like, that'll kill you. Straight up.
It does look deadly.
Yeah,
And it is.
and it is.
It is indeed deadly. No, but the fact that it acts like a creature, it's not fueled by malice and hate, and it's not trying to kill people. It's just, trying to survive. And it happens to be on this ship, and it blends in perfectly with everything. It builds its home, its nest out of, the ship parts, and it's like everything fits so well. I mean, back to the aesthetic, it fits in with everything, which makes it terrifying because you're in the air duct, but you don't realize that it's right next to you until the second jaw pops out and gets you.
Exactly.
So it's just the perfect killing machine,
and it does kill perfectly. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's it's iconic for a reason.
Yes,
they nailed it.
It's a pinnacle of monster creation.
Indeed,
it is. Mwah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what's got us excited for Alien Earth. Now, a little preview because we've watched the trailers and the idea that it's going to focus on not just the xenomorph. Evidently, there are 5 alien species. Evidently, they're all deadly. And spaceship crashes into Earth. Now we have contamination. These things are out there. So it's a prequel, and it's set, what did they say, 20 years maybe before the original Alien was, and the whole great timeline. So we'll see what happens. One of the things that I'm kind of wary of is I never like it when you have a prequel that has better tech than the original. I'm like,
exactly.
So we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, but it looks like they got some pretty serious tech happening. I don't know.
It's like Predator Killers. It's like, so you got the laser spear with the exploding grenades before an 1800 BC. Like, what are you talking?
I mean, I love that we're talking Predator. I love that we're talking Alien. I love that these movies have come back, but
there's just some things that you can't do.
Whew, I wish they'd do a better job. I'm not going to talk about Romulus, but
just stop saying the name.
Oh,
just stop saying it.
Just
there's nothing good.
Don't
stark contrast to the first Alien ending.
Yeah, we're not talking about. This is not a review for Romulus, which was terrible. This is a review for Alien, which is amazing.
Which is a 10 out of 10.
All right. Yeah, I got to give that one. That's solid.
Yeah.
So that is our review of Alien, and as I said, we're going to be watching Tuesday night when Alien Earth kicks off its first 2 episodes, and we'll give you our review on those as well. Until then, I'm X with your Gen X perspective.
I'm Z with your Gen Z perspective.
And as always, we thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.
Thanks, fellas, and you can find their YouTube horror movie review channel in the description down below. And while we're on the subject of movies, you may have heard that the production of Robert Eggers' next film, Werewolf, began last week with an eye for Christmas 2026, to follow in the tracks of Nosferatu last year. Added to which, all reports say that he is bringing Willem Dafoe, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and Lily Rose Depp back with him into this, which he says is the darkest project he has done to date, which is a bold thing to say, given the nature of Eggers' other movies. Werewolf, and that's Werwulf, is easily my most anticipated movie for next year, especially since it was just last December that I was wishing out loud that Eggers would turn his lens to a werewolf film. Wish granted, I guess. And that's going to be last call here at the Werewolf Bar. Thanks for coming by and having a drink with us tonight. Doc and Tex should be back with us next month to celebrate Halloween. And we want to especially invite you back in October for that Halloween special. Be sure to like and subscribe as you leave the bar this evening so you don't miss it. And check out the other links that we have in the descriptions down below. They'll point you to our website, our official Facebook Meta page, our books on Amazon, of course, and other related werewolf hunting madness. Until next time, happy hunting and mind the moon.